Good morning and good afternoon. Happy Friday, boss ladies. Happy Friday. Wow, what a week it's been slaying dragons, and what an exciting weekend it's going to be. Welcome to Creating the New Opportunities. I'm your host, Bill Haga, VP of Sales with the Federal Savings Bank. I'm now available to serve all 50 states again and offering pages of loan programs. I mentioned last week that I learned about a new opportunity here at the Federal Savings Bank. We are currently hiring an unlimited amount of brokers. Yes, that's real estate brokers and real estate agents who are interested in working on both sides and getting paid a commission from both sides. That is huge and pretty stinking awesome. The position is a part-time dual employee banker. It's a commission-based W-2 position with our bank. We currently have over 240 on board. And so far this week, I was able to hire 3 and have another 5 interested and should have them hired next week. So that should be 8 in 2 weeks. And that is super exciting. So this program will change the landscape of the way that we are currently doing business together. Okay, if you have any spare time, any 15, 20 minutes, I would contact me. Let's set up a time and let's go through some of this information for you, okay? Let's get your answers or your answers to your questions before 7:24. Okay? Either way, I would do anything and everything in my power to make sure I found out more information about this opportunity. Okay? Greg Warham, our regional senior vice president, will be joining me Friday, July 24th, to explain this program, answer all your questions, and explain how you can proceed to join the Federal Savings Bank team. I can tell you this is something that you will not want to miss. Okay, this is huge. Who wants to get paid more? Me. Who wants to work less? It takes about 10, 15 minutes to complete everything. So you do have some work involved, right? You can't do something and get paid, or cannot do something and get paid for it, right? You have to do something in order to get paid for it. 100% guideline compliant. Because of that, we've got a great phone app that keeps everything right there, easy, touch button, boom, boom, it's done. Your piece is complete, and you participated in the loan side of things, which now allows us to pay you. That's thinking awesome. All right, today's agenda. Let's talk about today's stuff. Today's agenda: market and rates, client wins for the week. Today's new construction program is our jumbo one-time close. Next week, we will go over our jumbo two-time close. Love these programs. And then, of course, the weekend. What's happening this weekend? All right, so market and rates. Our interest rates edged higher as renewed geopolitical tensions with Iran pushed bond yields up and sparked inflation concerns. The Fed's benchmark funds rate remained anchored in the 3.5% to 3.75% range. However, the release of the June meeting minutes showed a divided committee with growing sentiment and market pricing anticipating at least one potential rate hike by the end of 2026 rather than rate cuts. I want to repeat that. Okay, we have a lot of buyers out there on the fence right now. And did you just hear what I said? With the growing settlement and market pricing anticipating at least one potential rate hike by the end of this year versus rate cuts like we were told before. Okay. So right now, if you got anyone on the fence, they need to be like really looking, right? Because if we're going to be faced with another increase in rates, we know what's going to happen. Market's going to fall off again, right? And they're going to miss their opportunity of getting into that lower rate. Okay. So we definitely want to make sure that we're focusing on that. All right. So let's talk about where the rates kind of moved up to. So 30-year rate just moved back up to around that 6.49 mark. And the 15, it's hovering about a 5.84. Okay. Mind you, these interest rates, there's like 7 different factors that affect an interest rate. Okay, so an interest rate isn't the same for every person. It's all based off of your credit scores, your reserves, right? Your down payment, all that good stuff. Okay, let's talk about client wins for the week. Wow, like I said, this is a week of slaying dragons. We had 2 files. I personally had 2 files. On my team, we had 3 tough files that were just, I mean, when you dig into these things, sometimes you just uncover more stuff, right? Get me this document. Okay, I get you this document. Now, this document's got some stuff on it. So now this document now generates, we need 2 more documents, right? So I had a couple of those files and literally had to just grab a hold of one of them and pin it down and finally get the clear to close on it. So that was huge. In one of these scenarios, and this is just things that happen, right? You can never foresee these things in the beginning. So he's got $100,000 pension that we're going to use for reserves. Okay, reserves I need to show 1 month, $2,700 total. 1 month of reserves. Okay, I've got a pension of $100,000. That's what I'm using to cover my $1,500 in reserves. So after asking multiple times, right, because this happens, because a client thinks you're asking for one thing 15 times when really they gave you something that didn't match what you're asking for, right? There's always something. We're not going to keep asking you for something if it's perfect, right? So by the time that we got the terms and conditions of his pension, we found out that it can't even be used. So 79 or $100,000 was covering the $1,500 reserves can no longer be used. Okay, so when we remove that from the file, we rerun the automated underwriting. It come back and said referred. It was approved. Now because of this change, now it's refer, which means right now it's not approved. So, that's a heart attack moment, especially when you're at this stage of the game. But this does happen. I mean, this happens on this side of the fence, and this is what we have to do to overcome some of these things. So the underwriter, my underwriter junior, couldn't figure it out, couldn't get the approval back. So I said, okay, when I got time, I'll look at it. I finally got into the file last night before leaving for the day. I had to increase the gift amount by the $1,500, and I had to move him from a 30-year to a 25-year in order just to get us approved again. Okay, I was able to pump life back into it, get it back to life, and get us back to approved. So now today we're jumping through hoops to make all the adjustments that I created in the file last night. So the lock's got to be changed because it went from a 30 to a 25. So as my team's working on that, so we can get that closed next week. But wow, what a roller coaster. What a ride that file has been. And I'm just super happy that I figured out a way of getting it done. Okay, new construction programs. If you've been listening and joining me here over the past few weeks, I'm going through our new construction programs and I'm unpacking these one by one. Okay, we have a lot of them. Okay, which is amazing. Never seen so many new construction programs at one location. I mean, normally, if you're lucky to have a new construction program, you have one, maybe two. All right, I think we have 12, just to give you an idea. So that's huge, right? A lot of opportunities, what that screams out. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump into our jumbo one-time close. Sorry, everyone's blowing me up over these files. New construction. Here we go. Jumbo one-time close. So this is a single family, one-time close jumbo construction loan. Allows borrower to finance the construction of a single or a multi-family home, but they have to be owner occupied. Okay, this is from ground up construction only, no renovations. This is a 5/1 ARM with a fixed interest rate, only construction period not to exceed 18 months. Okay, so they put you in an ARM while you're going through the construction phase. They give you 18 months. After that, we'll do a refinance, flip you into a fixed. Okay, a 720 credit score gets you 20% down up to a $1.5 million new construction property. 720, 75%. So you need 25% down if you're going up to 2 million. All right. Taxes and insurance are required. Flood insurance is required. We used to have a front end ratio. I can't remember if it's this product or the 2-time close. Maybe the 2-time close. But we're just going to say right now the debt to income ratio on the front is 35% and on the back is 45%. If there's been a change, then obviously that'll get caught later on. But just in discussion, we're okay for now. Lesser of the following. So we're always trying to figure out, how to calculate the loan to value. So you can go off the appraised value or the total cost of the construction per budget worksheet, including the appropriate land value. How do we come up with land value? All right. So if this is land that you had purchased less than 6 months ago, then we're going to 9 out of 10 times go off that purchase price. If it was after that, then we're going to go off the appraised value. All right. To show that you have ownership, we need a copy of the closing disclosure that was signed at the title company when you purchased that lot or land. Okay. Eligible property types. So you can go with a single family residence. You can build a barndominium. That's site built construction. There's no 2 to 4 unit properties allowed, no manufactured homes on this program, right? We have our own manufactured new construction program. This is not part of it. You can go up to 30 acres. If the property is more than 30 acres, I just need to know so I can ask for committee's acceptance for that. And we'll get that taken care of. So if you have a installment loan that's less than 10 payments, those we can exclude from the debt to income ratios. That's pretty simple stuff to do. The departing residents on this particular program, the PITIA, must be included in the qualifying DTI unless an exception is received from loan committee. Okay. So once again, in these jumbo programs, you got a little bit of different guidelines to follow. Okay. So in this case, the PITI and any association fees or flood insurance would also qualify within this DTI. Okay. Rental income from departure residents may not be used to offset the PITIA. Reserve requirements, 6 months full of PITIA. Proof of funds on borrower paid items. Obtain any of the following acceptable proof: canceled check, cashier's check, or bank statements. All right, borrower funds. They must be uploaded. Client may borrow funds from the Federal Savings Bank entity. Proof of funds and payment must be added to the loan file and monthly payment properly accounted for in the DTI. Okay, this is one of those, odd situations again where you can borrow money in order to do the new construction. I don't see that very often at all. Use of business funds, right? Some of us are business owners, building houses, right? We want to use some business money in the account. So it's allowed with 2 months of bank statements or CPA letters, not required. Taxes follow agency guidelines. So that's going to go off the appraised value. or the county calculator, right? The tax assessor always has an estimating number or percentage that they use to calculate property taxes. So one of those two systems will be used. Borrower may not act as their own general contractor. And this is a one-time close, so it automatically converts to a PITI payment after the 18 months of interest-only payment has been completed. All right, that's all I have for our jumbo one-time close. Next Friday, more about new construction programs. We'll focus on our jumbo two-time close. And once again, don't forget the Federal Savings Bank is hiring real estate brokers and real estate agents. If interested, prior to July 24th meeting and Facebook Live session, please feel free to reach out to me by email, text, or by phone, because that is a super, super big deal. All right, this weekend, I hope everyone did have a great 4th of July weekend last weekend with your family and friends. Hope you didn't lose any fingers or toes. Lord knows we had the holler echoing around our house to the point where just about every neighbor had come out to see what was going on and watch the fireworks with us. So that was pretty funny and fun. I will this weekend have my phone on and laptop. So if you need any pre-approvals or if we need to get anybody under contract, I'm here to help with those things. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate all of you, and looking forward to having these conversations moving forward regarding this new program of ours. All right. Thank you, boss ladies. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Good luck. Let's get them on contract. Let's go.